Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dial-R Sweelick Tactics. Now, this is not going to be a rant video, but given my situation, majority of you might know already. If you don't, you'll know soon. But given my situation, I felt that now is going to be the only prudent time to make my thoughts clear on the biggest glaring problem with Eternal Evolution. Now, I've been a shill for this game. I've been a cheerleader. I'm still a cheerleader. Out of all the mobile games I've played, this one does still respect my time, regardless of all of the new game modes that have come into the game. It is still minuscule compared to other mobile games that I've played. And I'm looking at you, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, when I sat there for 12 hours straight coordinating offensive TW attacks. Longer than that, 24 hours almost. So I'm still a cheerleader for the game, but I have to make my thoughts known on the SP units, because in my opinion, they are quite literally a cancer on the game. Now, I kind of mentioned this before, that I was somewhat optimistic that they would give us more catch-up mechanisms since they released the third SP into the game, but they haven't, because the Valentine's Day event that is out right now does not give us access to Korra or Artemis shards. So I'm going to be completely transparent. When Korra got released into the game, would have been sometime last summer, I do believe July maybe, I got 300 Astrals to get for free from EE to get a copy, or get, it takes roughly, I'd say it takes roughly 300 Astrals to get a single copy. I got enough Astrals just to get a copy to play around with and make videos on one. And then I was offered a deal behind the scenes to get her at a very, very reduced price. Now, I did have to spend roughly a third of what an SP costs, but I did get a maxed Korra through that deal. When Artemis came out, we were offered the same deal, but it had a time limit of a week before Artemis's launch. So I don't believe any of the CCs actually partook in that deal. In fact, I know if you guys watched Kyger back in the day, he kind of talked about that as well. So that's the reason why I have Korra. The price point on an SP is so over and above crazy. Like, I tried to justify it when they came out, but $3,000, there is no justification for that. I think Veiled Shot said it best when he said that the SPs are just a meme at this point, because they are. Now, the issue is that with one SP, because, there's 6 different types of teams that you can make. With one SP, there were counters that came about for that SP. So you could counter Korra with Ares at first until they basically buffed Korra to stop the Ares counter. But then Sif came out, and summoners could actually quite easily stomp on Korra assassins. But then they released this guy right here, Samael, and that kind of shut that counter down up until recently, when we can run Awakened 7 Mazrani on the team of summoners. And now my summoner team with an Awakened Dan, with an Awakened Mazrani, Amat, Ampu, Sif, Dan, it just stomps on Korra assassins. And then we talk about the Artemis Hunter team. Now, I have to talk about the Artemis Hunter team before Viserys, because I showed you guys in a lot of PvP videos, Awakened Leo chews through Hunter teams. So if you got a really, really good Vanguard team, the Vanguards can actually quite easily chew through Hunters. It's not perfect. It's not 100%, but it is fairly consistent. So when we had just the 2 SPs, we did have counters, and it wasn't as a overwhelming burden on PvP, although it did make a difference. It did make a significant difference. I can't understate that, but I don't want to overstate it either. But so with the introduction of Artemis, during the anniversary event, they gave us a lot of catch-up mechanisms to get shards of Korra. In fact, I think there was multiple events in order to get Korra shards. So there was definitely events during the 1-year anniversary. There was definitely that event at Christmas that allowed you, free to play, to get a copy or two, depending on how much resources you had hoarded up for that event. But it definitely gave spenders, whales, an opportunity to get Korra at a much reduced price. So I thought, when I saw that, I thought, cool, okay, good. EE is going to put in catch-up mechanisms for the older SPs. Now, I fully expect and I fully endorse EE putting the newest SP behind a strict paywall. It should be only for the Krakens, and they should be the only ones that can enjoy that advantage off the rip. But as soon as a new one comes out, they should immediately be having catch-up mechanisms for the older ones. Because, 1 was manageable, 2 was okay, maybe, but 3, nah, you're just not winning against those people now. So this gap between, and I remember somebody said this to me really, really early on, and it stuck, and I've said it quite repeatedly over the last couple days as I've been thinking about this topic, is that SPs didn't hurt free-to-play. SPs hurt the whales. Because free-to-play weren't going to get it anyway. But the whales who had spent a lot of money, like, I don't consider myself a Kraken, I consider myself a whale. A Kraken, in my opinion, is someone that maxes a hero on release, like Immortal 5, everything. Whereas me, I just take them to Immortal 0, and then I slow build them from there. I didn't pay for Korra full price. I got her at about a third of the price. And I don't spend a whole lot of money. I haven't spent a whole lot of money this year at all. I definitely spent a lot last year, but that was partly to get my channel up and running, and I can write off a lot of those purchases. But I'm a whale. I'm definitely not a Kraken. And what SPs do is they hurt the whales. So I think this is a bad business move by EE, because what they're doing is they are driving away free-to-play players. But you know what? The free-to-play players aren't going to affect the bottom line of their pocketbooks or their monthly or quarterly statements. But the whales leaving are most definitely going to kill their bottom line, because I'd say that the majority of their money, and I'm just assuming, is coming from a multitude of whales and not just a few Krakens. Because how many SPs are on each server? There's zero Heimdall on my server. There's really no Artemises on my server, NA28. But Korras are starting to be a little bit more plentiful. But I definitely, when I go into Summon Arena, in fact, we can go look at this. We can go probably look at my Summon Arena. Summon Arena is getting a little bit dicier, because, the few Krakens that are out there are now dominating, especially when the game funnels us into this bottleneck that is the Ascension/Summit Arena. So if we just look at the teams, let's look at the finals. So Korra, no Heimdall, and then no Hunters? No, okay, so Bad Juju actually only has 1. But if we look at Ravenside over here, he's got maxed Artemis, maxed Heimdall, and then, of course, maxed Korra. But look, you see down here, you see Summoners did stomp on his 10.4 maxed Assassin team. So Korra is not as OP or overbearing, or she's not as in-your-face, suck it, as she was when she came out. But if we look at, like, the Artemis team, the Hunter team, this should, we've shown you guys, this should beat tanks, and you got a really good matchup there. 16 seconds it melted this tank team with a maxed Carabin. This is the team that we've been testing against. And then Vanguards, look at this SP Vanguard matched up with his SP Korra, and it just obliterated them. It took 44 seconds because the assassins take a lot of reduced damage, but that's basically an automatic win, because you see all of his wins were oh wait, no, all of his wins were not his SPs, but Hunters and Vanguards definitely got the win quite easily. And then what was his other team? It was Tanks versus Vanguard, which doesn't always go the way you think it's going to go. And you see Bad Juju has an Awakened 10 Leo. So that could have went in Bad Juju's way had he won this fight. What's different about this team? All Vanguards, no support units. Where did he have his Miranda? I bet you if he would have had Miranda instead of Batu, this might have went a little differently, but I don't want to tell a person how to play. So and then let's keep going. Let's go look at Dark Saitama. Let's see, what does he got? Does he got a bunch of SPs? No SP, no SP there. He does not. He only has one. Let's look at Reaper. Reaper's over here on the left, so he does have Korra. And that's it. Just Korra. What about Volcano? I know Volcano's got more. So Volcano does have a maxed Heimdall. He does have a maxed Artemis. And this was just bad luck, these two meeting up on the same side of the board. Because I bet you it would have been a Volcano Raven Sight to match up. And then I'm assuming, yeah, he's got Korra too. So this was the match of the Titans down here. And look at Artemis just obliterating Korra. So it's not just power creep over everything else. It's power creep over, you know, like Artemis is better than Korra. And Heimdall is obviously the top dog, better than anybody in the game. He can like 1v5 teams. It's insane. So I don't think Grimlock. I think Grimlock might have Korra. Yeah, but not really. He's just starting to get Korra. I think Patrick, let's look. Patrick's got, obviously, no Korra. No Artemis. So, no. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe it just doesn't seem... Maybe it feels like they're more prevalent than they are. Probably because I'm thinking about Hell Arena. I can't show you Hell Arena on here because this is my casual account. And my casual account is stuck down in, like, Junior Fighter. But I don't think that nullifies the point that I'm trying to make, is that they're a cancer on the game. They are a cheat button. They cost too much. I think that they actually do more harm financially to EE than good by pushing out the whales. Like me, I'm not going to spend that much. Why? Why would I spend that much? And I can justify it because I can write off the purchases as expenses against my YouTube business. They're just dumb. They're just dumb. You know, I wish I had them, but they are a cancer. Like I said, they don't hurt free-to-play. They just cause free-to-play to quit because all of the events are also revolving around SPs. Like this, obviously, they want you to run Artemis. This, they obviously want you to run Korra. And then the Vanguard one, they obviously want you... They're basically forcing you, saying if you don't have them, you're not going to get as much points, which is, you know, a carrot. But it's a carrot in front of a $3,000 unit, which is insane. So if I wanted to kind of compare the SP, which is the pinnacle of hero development in Eternal Evolution, versus going back to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, their pinnacle was Galactic Legends. The difference, and the most important difference between an SP and a Galactic Legend is that free-to-play can farm Galactic Legends. It only takes time. But once you see the requirements in that game, you just set your sights, pivot. Those are the heroes I got to develop in order to unlock that toon, and then you just do it. In my opinion, that is probably how this game should have been set up. There should still be, like, say, this is the perfect way to do this. Say, if you want Heimdall, you have to either pull astral tickets, and you know what? Leave the price tag as it is. Or make him a boss fight that is only accessible when you have the other Vanguards all up to Immortal 5. Make that the entry requirement into getting him. So either you take all the time and you focus, and you put all your genes into the other heroes of that class to unlock the SP, or if you don't want to do that, then sure, spend away. If you were to do, if EE would have implemented a system like that, I think we all would have looked at that and said, I'm just assuming. I would have assumed that everybody be fine with that. Okay, yes, Immortal 5, Leo, Barog, Ares, Claire. That's steep, but it's a lot. Gene hybrids come in at a good clip. We got giant towers. We got other ways to get heroes. Barog is in the Summit Arena store for the smaller currency. There are ways to do it, and free to play would have a path to get one. All they would have to do is know, okay, what class do I like? Do I like summoners? Okay, then I'm just going to focus on summoners because I know that a summoner SP is going to come out down the line and I'm going to be ready. And you know what that does? That creates hype, that creates excitement, that creates a much more vibrant, healthy ecosystem in the game. So I've been ranting for 16 minutes. I didn't want it to be a rant, and I thought I kept it somewhat civil. I probably said some things at the beginning of the video that might get me in trouble, but that's fine because I didn't sign an NDA, and two, and kudos to the CC team. I love you guys. You guys have been great to me, but it had to be said. I guess I didn't have to say it, but I said it because I wanted to say it, because why not? If you guys know my situation, So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say it one last time. SPs are a cancer on the game. They are probably causing the company to lose money by having the whales drop out. There is no incentive to get them. They aren't supplying the catch-up mechanisms needed to give free-to-play a chance. If a free-to-play wanted to get an SP, it's going to take them over a year. I think we worked out the math one time. It's around 5 years without events, and then events might take it down to 2 years, 3 years for free-to-play to get SP. If there is no way for free-to-play to get something, they're just going to go to some other game. And it's been happening. I'm assuming that you've all seen a lot of turnover in your guilds lately, a lot of people dropping off. And that's probably spurred by the fact that this boy came around, and then they immediately put places where you needed them, aka Thunder Dragon in the Guild Expedition. Enough said. Like I said, they don't hurt free-to-play, they hurt the whales. They kill the whales, they force the whales out. The game's going to lose money. It is what it is. It's a bad design. It's a bad system. I think that they could have these units in the game if they just implemented a system like I recommended. That, what that's going to do, that might make some free-to-play. And here's another thing too. Maybe you could time gate it so that an SP fight is open 1 week every month. Korra, Artemis, like they rotate, so that if someone's a little bit shy when they know Heimdall's coming around, well, then they might have to crack open their wallet and purchase a Gene hybrid, or they might purchase some limited tickets to pull on some giant towers. But that price tag is going to be a lot lower than, I guarantee you whales would probably do that don't spend on SPs. They might see that and be like, oh, I can get, if I spend $300, I can get my Samael up to Immortal 5, and I'm ready for Korra when she comes around. But sadly, they didn't do that, and sadly, they're probably going to reap the fallout of that decision. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is my opinion on SP heroes in Eternal Evolution. Please comment down below in the comment section what you think of what I said. Tell me your thoughts. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, cheers, peace, bye-bye.